Hi, and welcome to our BRIT live show Community Matters. I'm Alex.
And I'm Caden. Today we have an interesting show lined up for you, all about community.
Today we will cover the broad subject of community, which we have narrowed down to 3 key areas.
Internet communities, beliefs and religion, and finally our lovely community here at BRIT.
With each key area, we have a VT lined up to hopefully educate you viewers about different types of communities and what brings people together.
For now, we're kicking off the show with our Internet VT, where we explore the world of fandoms. Enjoy!
The internet's reach is huge. It connects so many people all over the world and brings people who enjoy similar things together. I think fandoms are arguably the biggest type of online communities there are, from film and TV fandoms to anime fandoms, and probably the most memorable furry fandom. Fandoms usually consist of people who dedicate a larger part of their life to whatever they're interested in. For example, Beth.
When I first got into fandoms, I was like 14 years old. I'm 20 now, and my friend, I had a nerdy friend who kind of just showed me the ropes of like Twitter and stuff like that. I got into all the Twitter fandoms, and then Tumblr, when that was a big thing. A lot of fandoms are on there, and I kind of just fell into the deep dark hole that is fandoms.
What got me into fandom, I think it all started when my cousin came in. She introduced me to like anime, starting with like Fairy Tail, and then it just worked its way up, and now I'm in like maybe a few.
Cosplay is a way people connect with each other and show their love for their characters. Lots of cosplayers attend cons alongside other fandom creators. A fandom notorious for their amazing outfits is the furry fandom. Their fursuits are most impressive, but not every furry has the money or resources to make that personas a reality. Casper and Sparky create art to contribute to either their own or other creators' personas.
I offered a free service for a period of time where I made digital art of children's or like young furs, like sketches. So they draw out a character that they really liked, that they'd made for themselves, but they couldn't commission other people to make art because they didn't have a clear enough like reference to their character. So I would spend my time digitalizing and make new whole pieces of art for them that would like give them a step into the fandom. Or people who couldn't create their own characters because they didn't have enough like creativity. I like making things for people that they're going to use, especially because I have 2 characters I've sold off to other people before and gifted one, and one person's having a suit made of the character which I've created. So it's just like, it's what I want to do in my career, but putting it into something that someone can use for happiness.
Art is the majority of how I'm active in the community. Since the focus of the furry community is people's own characters, I find myself drawing for other people a large amount of time. It's a really cool pattern of finding artists, drawing their characters, becoming friends because of that, and then through them meeting more artists.
Art and fanfics contribute a lot to fandom. Both help create concepts and alternative realities to expand the universe for certain characters. Fanworks can place favourite characters into a universe similar to the one we're currently in, which can provide comfort for some readers. People make friends through art and writing, complementing each other's work and sometimes collaborating to make pieces together.
I mean, I've been able to meet a lot of people since I don't really talk to my friends in real life that much, since I have a different, like, more of a private education. I don't really talk to people in real life that much, so it's quite useful to, you know, find people that I'm able to talk with so I don't, you know, get cooped up inside, and it really helps.
Yeah, quite a few actually. I'm not still friends with a lot of them, but I've got specifically one of my really close friends. We've like started like art trades and stuff, but we never really finished them, and we like send each other like new songs or like talk about like the concerts or the tour or something, and she collects figures, so then she gives me like tours of her figures and stuff, and that's pretty cool.
Fandoms help lots of people connect and make friends. Sometimes there are some bad experiences within fandoms. It's popular in fandoms to ship characters together, shipping being a verb used to describe the action of wishing 2 people to enter a relationship.
A negative experience. Aunties, people harassing each other over fictional characters or pairings. Some male fans can be patronising and younger fans can feel entitled to the fandom.
Despite these negative experiences, sometimes it makes communities within the fandom stronger. Tifa likes a pairing with two characters, Shira and Keith, from the show called Voltron. There is often hate around the ship for some misconceptions about the characters, but the community around the ship band together when attacked to all defend each other, creating a bigger sense of community. The community is so close that there is even a small convention going on in LA later this year.
From Sheaf fandom, what I love the most is how protective and supporting the fandom is. There's a lot of feedback in my creations and in everyone else's. They make me feel loved, validated and comfortable.
I mean, the Splatoon fandom is really good because you get to play with a lot of people and nobody's that horrible and everyone's quite nice, and you can play tons of game modes with people that they've made, and like they're very fun, and you get to meet more people. And I've never run into anyone that likes Splatoon that's been a horrible person, so.
All in all, fandom communities are huge and provide a welcoming space for almost anyone. Everyone makes connections with each other through their contributions to the fandom, and sometimes these connections last a lifetime. A lot of people have found comfort in these communities, so if you've never indulged in a fandom, I'd suggest having a go.
Welcome back to Community Matters. Alex, what did you think of that?
I found that really interesting. It was a refreshing look into the online world. Thanks, Caden, for exploring that for us.
I thought it was really important to share because even though fandom is such a large community, lots of people never get involved with the creativity.
Interesting. I was most intrigued by Casper and Sparky's bit about creating drawings of other furry characters.
Yeah, I didn't know much about the furry community before researching for this VT, but everyone seems so generous and kind to each other.
Well, Casper said they created free drawings for young furries who couldn't create clear enough designs of their wanted character. I just think that's really kind.
Yeah, there's totally a lot of generosity in other fandom spaces too. I just think it's such a big part of the furry community. Honestly, I think people should pay more attention to that.
I was surprised at the fact that a character pairing had its own community too, and they're holding a convention. Maybe I should get involved in some fandoms.
Maybe. On the topic of getting involved, Annabelle has selected some students to take part in the next segment about beliefs and how those beliefs impact the students' perspective on certain topics.
This is touching on topics from the LGBTQ community to things that go on here at BRIT. Keep an open mind and get ready to explore beliefs in different communities.
Hi, my name's Abby, I'm 16 and I am an atheist. I was brought up with the idea that there is no God and that the universe was created by a big bang by my mum and dad. In addition to being an atheist, I'm also bisexual. With 94% of atheists being accepting of the LGBTQ+ community, I'm lucky to be openly bi in such an accepting place. If anything, the fact that I have parents from one of the worst countries in the EU to be gay in, according to multiple articles, means that my religious beliefs, or should I say lack of them, are the least of my worries when it comes to the acceptance of my sexuality. Unfortunately, this isn't the case for many, with both religious and LGBTQ+ communities usually having negative and malicious correlations between them. The discussion of lesbian, gay, bisexual and trans people, in addition to religious communities, is quite a touchy subject, which is why we took it upon ourselves to find 3 BRIT school students from varying religious backgrounds to give their opinions on statements relating to the LGBTQ+ community. Here they are.
I just think everyone should just be accepted no matter their sexual orientation, because I don't think being part of the LGBT community should be the reason that you are who you are, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think people should be loved on their personalities more than anything else.
Yeah.
I think I've just been brought up to be quite accepting of people, so.
Yeah, I think regardless of opinions and beliefs, like, everyone deserves like some form of respect and like some kind of like being actually treated as another person instead of like, oh, you're this thing or you're that kind of a thing.
Okay, so you feel like you can express yourself however you want despite maybe your background or where you've been brought up?
Yeah, like, I don't know, like why would your beliefs kind of affect the way you act? Because like, for me, the way you act is essentially you. Because if you didn't act, you wouldn't really be a person, would you? So like, being able to express that is obviously key, and if your beliefs are getting in the way of that, I mean, unless you're doing something bad,
yeah.
Then why would it happen?
Alright, Lucas, what's your take?
think, well, I've just never, in my environment, I don't think I've ever been pressured to act a certain way. I've always just kind of been myself. Yeah.
Alright, fair enough. You go from lastly.
The only reason I say disagree is because I went to crew. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I know that I would want to do that I possibly can't, maybe because of the way that my religion is. Like, it's not like I'm restricted from doing certain things, but there's
like a boundary.
Yeah, there's a boundary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, sweet. So we have 2 greens. Let's start off with you greens then.
I mean, I had to take a while because I have absolutely no clue what would happen. But I mean, I think I would trust my family to be like kind of accepting. So yeah, because I've been around them all my life. So.
Would you say that if your family had opposing views to you, would it be quite difficult to open up to them, or talk about that sort of thing with them?
I think it'd be difficult for anyone to say to your family like, yeah, I have a different belief. So I think I kind of would struggle with the idea of that, but I feel like after a certain point of time, I think if I were to be, I'd be ready for it.
Okay, and you, Lucas?
I don't think I've ever had to really think about this before because it hasn't really affected me. But I think my parents would be kind of supportive because that's kind of the people that they are. So.
Oh, yeah. And Colfum, disagree.
The only reason I said this is because I come from a pretty strict Muslim background, and it's not like my parents would hate me or anything, but I know that their views are very different to mine, which is where I know that they wouldn't accept it, and I just don't think they would.
Well, we hope that's given our viewers insight into the differences and similarities in beliefs with people of different backgrounds.
I really like the setup for the show. Thanks, Annabelle.
Agreed. Did any of those responses really surprise you, Caden?
Well, I found them all really interesting, to be honest. It was eye-opening to have people of all different backgrounds, perspectives on the subjects. I like how different but similar we can all be.
Yeah, it was insightful to say the least. It was actually good to discuss what brings us all together, and also thank you to our guests, Coltham, Lucas and Raymond.
And to our lovely host, Annabelle. Our next VT takes a deeper look into the BRIT community, where we ask students what community means to them and how they feel at school like BRIT.
Which could be similar to the way you feel, assuming you're a student at the school and not a stranger who stumbled upon our broadcast.
Students were asked about the community within their strand and asked if they enjoy being part of the community and how they think their strand comes together. Before we go on, what do you think about our community within film and media, Alex?
Well, we rely so much on each other, we can't afford not to. When we do work together, we can come together to make great productions like this, so I think it's pretty strong, especially since we spend almost all of our lessons together. Yeah,
I mean, if you take this, for example, we're airing for an audience with a team of 12 cast members and for a group of 16 and 17-year-olds. I think that's pretty impressive.
In BRIT, you have to have a strong school community. We all rely on each other to be able to create all our creative productions.
Before we ramble too much, let's look at our VT about the BRIT community, starring some of the school's community art project students.
Community means having good friends and good support around you, and also supporting other people.
To me, community means people who are behind you no matter what, people who will back you, people who will be there for you no matter what. And I think it's some people that you can rely on, almost like a second family, is what it should be, at least.
Like a group of people who you consider your family, who you can talk to and share things with.
It means everyone working together as a team and being there for your neighbours and being there for your family and friends.
CAP, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do in CAP?
We kind of work with, it's kind of theatre, and we do elements like dancing and singing, but we do it and apply it to communities outside school, like different demographics and certain communities, yeah.
Okay, cool. What does community mean to you?
Community means like friendship and love and everyone being inclusive and everyone getting involved and trying to help the world through people and just trying to make everyone feel safe and happy.
Me personally, I think it's important to perform to different communities because a lot of people in our society, they don't have the opportunity to sing, dance, act and play music and stuff like that. So we kind of try and have a broader aspect for everyone and make it inclusive. So people that can't actually have it via whether it's money purposes or anything else, we kind of make it able for them, something for them to do.
About CAP is, well, I love the teachers. The members of staff are amazing.
Amazing.
They're like
phenomenal. They like help you through all your work, they help you with all your worries and stress.
And especially the things we do on the course, I think they help us through a lot.
Seriously.
Because I've never worked with people with dementia, but they're teaching us how to deal with them, and it really is amazing.
10 out of 10.
I think for me, community is about everyone together, and because what we do in CAP is we cover such a range of topics with our workshops, I think it's making those topics known and speaking about things we usually wouldn't speak about with a different range of people, where, like, despite our differences. I think that's really important.
Right now we're doing a lot, so we're working with a place called Dementia Friends. It's where we go and do a workshop and we facilitate a workshop to those that have dementia, try to teach them new things. And we also do sign language at the moment, so we're learning different sign languages. And we also work with those that are deaf, so a group of people come here from a deaf theatre and they teach us, that's where we learn the sign language, they teach us the sign language, teach us how to communicate around those that are deaf and how to interact with them. And then we're going to be, on the Dementia Friends, we're going to be creating a performance based on dementia to make those that do not know of it more aware and like what the struggles are and how they live with it, and to get people to have a more understanding.
Yeah, support, people being around you, like helping you do what you do, and the fact that you're entertaining them, like you're making a purpose with the people you are around, whether it be strangers. Communication skills, how to work with people, and especially because we do drama, music and dance, the communication added onto that will take us better places, do you know what I mean? Because people don't really get educated on how to speak and work with people.
As much as it gives you the physical aspect of dance, singing and acting, I think it also gives you skills such as time punctuality and really communicating with different types of people. I think is really important in different scenarios. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that was our last VT. Thank you to everyone who helped make one, and a special thank you to our lovely crew.
And what a way to end the show.
We hope you enjoyed learning about different communities and its dynamics, and thank you so much to anyone who participated in the interviews.
And to people who have learnt something new, or at least developed some kind of understanding about different communities. Were you surprised by anything in that VT, Alex?
No, I actually really enjoyed looking into different sides of the BRIT community. It's easy to get wrapped up in your own strand sometimes, and it was a good idea to have a mix of students from different strands.
Thank you to anyone who participated in that VT.
Yes, thank you. I really enjoyed learning more about what this school does for the community. I don't think it's mentioned enough when you hear about it in the school.
Agreed. I think we're lucky to have such an accepting and diverse environment. We get so many opportunities here.
You're right. Before we end the broadcast, I'd like to give another big thank you to everyone who participated in any VT and to anyone watching for tuning in.
We can't forget about our hard-working, cute crew, either who have worked so hard to make all of this happen or who are currently presenting.
Thanks, guys. Anyway, signing off, I'm Alex.
And I'm Caden.
And we'll see you next time.